Welcome back to Sistory History. Our Hadrian's Wall mini-series continues with a second episode on Vindolanda, a well-preserved Roman fort in Northumberland, England, just south of the wall itself. Today we'll share more of the highlights from our numerous visits to the site and museum. I'm not sure we'll be able to match the heady heights of the decorative shoes and the trains of episode 1, but we'll certainly give it a try.
We really did go to the museum and site quite a lot.
Well, we had the pleasure and privilege of basically staying in the site.
We were right next to it.
We were right next to it at an Airbnb, weren't we?
Yeah, it was good. And we got free entry.
And we really did make the most of that free entry.
Yeah, I think they knew our names by the time we left.
Great time, though. Great time. I'm going to start today, Laura. In the museum at Vindolanda. Wonderful things, obviously. But one of the most wonderful things for me were the oyster forks. Mm. Do you know how to say oyster in Latin?
Ostra?
Oh, nearly.
Oh.
It's ostres.
Ostres.
You can totally see where oysters derived from, can't you? These forks look like essentially metal toothpicks. They're similar in size and thickness, about 10 centimetres long. And they are used much in the same way as a toothpick. You skewer the oyster in its shell and then just plop it into your mouth.
Oh, it's making me feel a bit queasy. I can't be doing with oysters.
You're not a fan of oysters?
No, I'm sure I would have felt differently if I was ancient Roman.
I wouldn't have thought you were a fan of an oyster, and maybe not these ones especially. This might help you though. A Roman mayonnaise recipe for oysters.
What? You put oysters in mayonnaise?
Well, maybe if you don't like the taste of them, like
true.
you.
Yeah. You could have some sweet corn in that and some tuna.
And just remove the oyster.
Yeah.
This is Apicius's cookbook, and this is to eat alongside your slimy treats. Pepper, lovage, egg yolk, vinegar, garum, oil and wine. If you wish, add some honey.
What? That's just literally anything that's in your cupboard.
And it seems to be masking.
Just neck a load of wine and then go for it.
I don't know why honey and wine and garum are in there. Now, today we think of oysters as a bit of a luxury, don't we? Restaurants can charge, what, £5?
For one oyster.
Per oyster? Yeah. For a fresh oyster. But tens of thousands of oyster shells have been found at Roman sites across Britain. And they were a very, very popular food item, a snack on the go. Like you can do at the seaside today. You can go and buy an oyster.
Are they expensive now because they are less abundant? Did the Romans just eat too many and now we haven't got many left?
No. I think it's just because now they have a reputation of being a bit of a luxury food. Yeah. So you can charge more for them. I mean, you can get them for £1, probably, or even cheaper some places. Yeah. But if you go to a fancy restaurant, they're going to charge you £5 per oyster. Yeah,
I won't be buying.
No. As I was saying, they were eaten by just your normal run-of-the-mill Joe Bloggs, but also at fancy banquets. In fact, there was a notorious glutton. What a nice job to be a notorious glutton.
Do you think you apply?
Just missed out on that glutton job. And he was at the court of Emperor Domitian, and it was said by the satirist Juvenal that he could instantly tell the difference between oysters from different regions of Rome and Italy, known for their fabulous oysters, such as the Lucrine Lake, but also Britain's Rutupian beds. So that's Richborough.
Oh, okay.
Roman Britain's oysters were world famous.
Were they?
Therefore. Well, empire famous.
Yeah, still, big empire.
Now, you may be thinking it's a bit of a long way, isn't it, to transport shellfish?
Yeah.
England to Rome.
Yeah.
3 weeks?
Yeah, that's not going to travel well, is it?
You don't think it'll travel well, Laura? Sounds a bit dangerous.
It does.
You might need that mayonnaise. But oysters are a bit unusual.
They travel well?
Because they stay alive if you keep them cool and wet.
Oh.
Which means you can transport them over longer distances.
And then they remain fresh.
And they remain fresh.
Fine.
They also taste different depending on the water they're grown in. So it's a similar concept to terroir with wine. The grapes take on the flavour of the earth or the mineral tastes. And it's the same with oysters in the sea, but it's merroir. So mer for sea.
Oh, terre for the land.
And terre for land,
with you.
terra. So oysters grown in cooler waters around Britain are known to have a bolder, fresher and mineral taste.
Okay.
As opposed to the richer, buttery flavours of those. You're doing such a disgusted face.
I just can't decide which would be worse.
And that's in the warmer Mediterranean. They grow those buttery ones. And when I say buttery, they definitely don't taste the butter. No.
I think my issue with oysters is the texture. So I think I probably don't even know what they taste like because I can't. It's the texture thing that gets me initially.
The phlegm.
Mm.
Yeah. But another difference, Laura, is that in Roman Britain, oysters were harvested from the wild beds, whereas the Romans established oyster farms quite early on. And actually, Laura, I'll just read you this. Where's my Pliny? No, but genuinely,
Please
it's my Pliny
do
on the
keep
floor.
that in.
I'll just read you this line from Pliny the Elder because I quite liked it. Oyster ponds were first invented by Sergius Orator in the Gulf of Baiae. His motive was not greed but avarice, because he had already become rich with the invention of showers that he installed in his villas before selling them on.
He invented showers.
Showers and oyster beds. Pliny's a bit of a gossip because he's talking about oyster beds and then he goes, well, this guy invented showers and then sold his villas on.
That's just like good business sense.
Great, yeah. But the reason I love this exhibit and why I think it deserves some more attention than it does, because it just looks like a metal toothpick, okay?
Yeah.
In an oyster shell, is that often when we think of Roman Britain, we think of what they brought over here.
Mm.
Roads, mosaics, underfloor heating maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But what this little fork represents is the influence flowing in the other direction.
Oh, nice.
With oysters, you've got a little bit of Britain, the taste and smell and phlegmy texture of Roman Britain being eaten in the imperial court in Rome.
Beautiful. Do I feel closer to oysters? Do I feel better about oysters?
Only you can answer that question.
Yeah.
Laura. What is your next exhibit from the Vindolanda Museum?
Well, now this is a fun one. It's a pair of boxing gloves. Well, I'm saying a pair because there's two, but we don't know that they were necessarily worn or used together.
Okay.
So it's two boxing gloves, dated to about 120 AD, dark leather, and they're sort of constructed in one single piece, folded over. They're folded into a pouch shape that was fatter in the middle.
Yeah.
And thinner at each end. And if you look at the photo, from what I can gather, the thinner ends were sort of gripped by the hand. So you could put your hand in, grab those two ends to keep them steady, and then the fatter part would be over your knuckles.
Protecting your knuckles.
Protecting the knuckles, yes. This would have protected the hand, but also would have added any extra force to your attacking blows. They look quite different to modern boxing gloves, though.
Well, because a modern boxing glove is a whole glove.
Yeah,
whereas
you put
this
your
is
full hand into it. And they're massive, much bulkier. These are more like coverings. There's quite a bit of the hand still exposed. And you can see that in the photo. The model is wearing the two gloves and you can see there's quite a lot of exposure there.
Is it more, would you describe it as just a knuckle covering then? Knuckle dusters.
Yeah, maybe. I think they look a bit more hardcore than our modern boxing glove.
Yeah, because they're pointy.
So this extract from the museum signage gives us a very clear idea about how Romans approached the sport. The gloves themselves look more hardcore, and this extract carries on that theme. Ancient boxing was a straightforward fight between two opponents, regardless of weight, and without bouts or breaks. The winner either knocked out his opponent or forced him to yield.
Right, okay. To the death.
Or yell stop.
Yeah.
Proper no holds barred situation. I'm imagining anything goes. So we can see that the two gloves are different sizes. And although we said that they might not be a pair, they look like they could go together quite well because the different construction suggests different uses.
A kind of jabbing one and then a protective one.
Yes.
Is that the idea?
That's what I think.
Yeah.
So apparently the smaller one had an insert of hard leather. So although it was smaller, it was tougher. And that was presumably the attacker.
Ah.
The larger one was filled with grass and bracken, which doesn't sound that protective, to be fair.
But if you don't want to hurt your opponent, maybe that's the one you punch with.
Oh, possibly. Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
But I suppose if you pad it with enough grass and bracken, and it's bigger, then it could offer quite a lot of protection for the hand.
Yeah.
Padding to absorb the impact. Don't mix them up, though. But there's more.
Oh.
So back to your point about knuckle dusters, we know that some chose to, shall we say, embellish their gloves with metal blades.
Oh.
Right?
I thought you were going to say decorate them with nice
bit
of
sequins.
embroidery. Yeah.
No.
Metal.
No, they sort of upgraded them like you might upgrade your weapons in a video game. To increase the damage potential, that metal would make the risk of injury a lot greater.
Yeah, and bleeding.
Bleeding, yeah. Now, why were the soldiers using boxing gloves? I think the obvious one is training and exercise, hopefully without the blades.
Yeah, it's definitely exercise.
Yeah. Organised fights between the soldiers, maybe for morale.
Yeah, something to do.
Yeah, like a group activity, cheering each other on, that sort of thing. But I like the idea of a non-work related boxing bout down at the tavern.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I don't think there's any evidence for this, so this is just sort of whimsy. But imagine you're in the tavern, the drink's flowing, maybe it's really rainy and dark outside. Maybe people get into a bit of fisticuffs about who's the better, who's the stronger, something's happened. Coin changes hand.
Oh.
Maybe you bet on your favourite. It could have happened.
Coin often changes hand, Laura.
Yes.
Yeah. I like that image.
That's where I shall leave it.
It's a very apt place to leave it, actually, Laura, because our final joint discussion point from the museum and from Vindolanda, the treasury stones.
Yes.
In a side room, actually quite near the boxing gloves. From memory, it's not very clearly labelled. But when we went on the free tour of the site, our fantastic guide pointed it out, didn't he?
Yes, there's actually a stone in situ outside in the headquarters building and 2 in the museum.
Yes, 2 in the museum. And we've got photos of both of those on our website and socials. Now, the reason this exhibit is often disregarded is that essentially it's 2 big bits of unassuming slab, about 1 metre square, 20 centimetres deep, with a simple diamond pattern carved onto the front. It's a bit like a thick paving slab, but standing upright rather than flat on the ground. And that is because these slabs once formed the front wall of the pay office within the Principia, which is the fort's headquarters. And the Principia was the most important building within a Roman fort because it served as the commanding officer's office, the armoury, the treasury, with a sunken strong room, which was still in situ.
Yes, it was.
For the Roman soldiers' pay. And it also housed a shrine for the standards and the emperor's image. The treasury is what we're interested in here, though, because if you look closely at these sandstone slabs, you will see that the tops of them, the top ledges, are worn down over years and years of soldiers lining up, leaning against them, against the side, and repeatedly sliding their hands over that little counter ledge to receive a pay. Maybe there was a hatch and they had to slide their hands through.
So it's a bank window, because the amount of wear means it's likely that rather than being used just on payday, the soldiers would withdraw or deposit money regularly whenever they wanted in between. So it had their pay, they received their pay, but also it's like a savings.
Yeah, it's like
facility.
a bank that we use today. You go if you need some money, if you want to deposit some money, you go in and talk to them.
Yeah. And we know that lots of gambling went on. So if you wanted to bet on the that boxing match coming up
down
tonight,
the tavern,
you would have needed to get out a bit of coin.
Correct.
Yeah. Or potentially stash your winnings somewhere.
Absolutely. That's exactly it. And you never know if you're going to get good campmates, bad campmates. You need somewhere safe.
If they might kind of rifle through your kit bag for your coins.
There might be an emergency and they might need something.
That's true.
Yeah. So it's nice to have somewhere safe in the fort to store your winnings or store your pay even.
Yeah, I really like that idea that we can see where they were leaning and touching. This reminds me of Corbridge, when we went to see Corbridge Roman town.
Yes.
And there was a water tank near the barracks and it's curved on the top where through years of use, people would have got their buckets for collecting the water and steadied them on top.
Oh,
so that has eroded it away. So it's now kind of a dip in the stone.
Very similar. That's exactly it. If you are visiting Vindolanda, do make sure you seek these slabs out so that you can go and run your hands over the exact spot a Roman soldier would have done nearly 2,000 years ago, and just share that little bit of human connection etched into the stone.
Thank you for listening while we explored Vindolanda. Remember to tune in next time when we will be marching on to Chester's. If you liked what you heard today, then please do take the time to like, rate, subscribe or share wherever you download your podcasts, or why not contact us on sistoryhistory@gmail.com. See you next time.
Bye!